Welcome to another episode of Toya Talks Wrestling. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about Smackdown November 29th, 2024. It's the last Smackdown of November. And like I said before, this was pre-recorded show. And I'll give you a little bit of highlights of what happened. So we had Team Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and Bailey out pretty much, doing their little promos and stuff like that. And eventually the other team, Team Liv, comes out with Liv and Naomi, Raquel, Candice, and Tiffany. And pretty much they were saying to, Nia was saying to the other team how I don't know how they can get along because, Io Sky and Bailey pretty much made Bianca Belair's life miserable, constantly jumping her, how Io stabbed Bailey in the back, how this person did that, blah 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 blah, and everything else. Eventually, it ended up going back and forth and talking about who's gonna beat up who and who's gonna do what to who and everything else like that, and it just ended up in a big brawl where the referees and officials had to come out and separate them. So, they're really trying to make this into some kind of a war games situation, but I still think it should have just been a regular elimination match. But here we are. Speaking of ladies, we had the United States title tournament for the women's going. It was supposed to be Jade Cargill versus Michin versus Piper, but they put in Lash Legend. Well, Lash Legend is one of the Metal Fours from NXT, and advancing was Michin. So, like I said before, I would like to see Michin and Chelsea Green go one-on-one. A lot of people think it's gonna be Bailey and Naomi, which I don't mind that either. But I mean, we've already seen that a couple of times. Not for the United States title, but we have seen Bailey and Naomi go at it a couple of times, so I don't know what's gonna happen there, but I'm interested. And then, again, I don't remember who Naomi's gonna fight next week, but we'll find out. Anyways, so let's move on. Cody Rhodes had a match with Carmelo Hayes. So last week, I forgot to mention this because there was so much to talk about. After the whole ordeal with Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes was backstage and he ran into Carmelo Hayes. And Carmelo Hayes was pretty much saying that he agreed with everything that Kevin Owens said and that it was Cody Rhodes' fault for what happened to Randy Orton and stuff. And then Cody Rhodes just pretty much got mad. He started shoving him and they shoved each other and stuff like that. And Cody Rhodes was like, it's been a long time since you and I have had a match, because the first time they had a match was when Carmelo Hayes was the first draft pick. That's been a long time. I think that was back during WrestleMania, a little bit after WrestleMania. So it's been a while. So Cody Rhodes ends up winning his match with Carmelo Hayes. Then Kevin Owens had a vignette basically promoting what he's gonna do to Cody Rhodes, because they have a match for the title at Saturday night's main event. So that'd be interesting. I don't know if I'm going to cover that or not. I might not. I'm not sure yet. But another thing that happened was the match between Jacob Fatu and Jey Uso for the advantage. So as I said on Monday or Tuesday actually, if Bianca Belair won her match, more than likely Jacob Fatu would win his match, and that's exactly what happened. Jacob Fatu won. No bloodline or no OG bloodline was involved. It was just one-on-one, and he won absolute clean. And so Team Solo will take the advantage on War Games. And the last thing that I would like to discuss, it was the talk between CM Punk and Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman in the middle. Basically, the setup was kind of I guess it was kind of mafioso kind of setup. It was dark, had one big light or whatever, and they're at a table, and you had Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman sitting at the table, and Roman Reigns was like, well, where is he? Referring to CM Punk. And he's like, Paul Heyman's like, I don't know, my tribal chief. And he goes, oh, and then Roman Reigns is like, well, he's keeping me waiting. No one keeps me waiting. He says, I'm sure he'll be here. And eventually, CM Punk comes in and he sits down. And pretty much, I'm gonna like totally just screw this up, so I'll just give you the synopsis of what pretty much was like, Roman Reigns is basically telling, CM Punk that he didn't need his help, he didn't want his help, and that he didn't trust him. And CM Punk was basically like, well, I'm not really doing this for you. I'm doing this for, Paul Heyman and stuff like that. And Roman Reigns is like, well, that's my wife. And he's like, I'm aware of that, but that's my friend. And I'm doing it for him. Like, I really don't care about you, but I care about him. And stuff like that. And eventually Paul Heyman was like, look, he talked to his tribal chief. He's like, look, we're gonna need his help, because if we don't have his help, we're all gonna fall to Solo. And he said, and we need your help, because if we all fall for Solo, then you're next, talking to CM Punk. And so together, it's like divided, we all fall, but together we might be able to survive. Right? So they was going back and forth, stuff like that. Eventually, CM Punk started talking to Paul Heyman and says, I'll do it. And then he looks at Roman and says, one favor. And Roman Reigns is like, you want a favor from me? And CM Punk was like, no, not from you. From our wise man. And he gets up from the table and he leaves. And then Roman Reigns is like, wise man. Paul Heyman is like, yes, my tribal chief. What's the favor? Paul Heyman was like, why don't we worry about Survivor Series? And then after that, I'll tell you everything you need to know. I'm kind of wondering, what is the favor? Like, what could CM Punk ask of Paul Heyman? Like, what does he want? Does he want him back as his manager or something? I don't know. I have no idea, but I have no idea. So there are questions to be asked, and I'm sure they'll be answered soon enough. But it was a pretty decent Raw. It was too bad for you to pre-show. But that is all. Survivor Series comes out today. For me, it comes out at 3 because it's in Canada and I don't know. Anyways, it's 3 o'clock for me, probably 6 o'clock for the East Coast. So just in case I forgot to mention that on Thursday, I don't think I did. But yeah, I was trying to get this out as soon as possible before the show, so hopefully I made it. If you see it, then I made it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, on Thursday we'll be doing the after show. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your Saturday. If you're not watching Survivor Series, you should. I think it's going to be a very good PLE. But if not, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And I will see you guys on Thursday for the post-show results. Okay, bye.